I've been doing music for since I was a baby. I started writing rhymes at 12 years old. When the industry then was different. My favorite music when I was a kid was R&B music, gospel music. I wasn't a Christian, never been one, but I loved gospel. Like Kurt Franklin. I was a kid. Stomp was out. I don't know. A few other.
Doom, 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 doom.
There we go. The salt and pepper version. You know. I loved rap. But I liked R&B. I liked R&B a little bit more. And art never dies. Art is always appreciated. It never dies. What it does for people is so much that it should cost $1,000 an album, at least.
Okay.
It should cost $150 a single.
All right.
You shouldn't be able to get it at all. It should be so rare, like a diamond, more rare, because it is more rare than a diamond. Good music is more rare than gold. It is so much more precious and appreciated than anything else. It gets people through their lives. It gets people through depression, out of anxiety. It helps people through their lives. It helps people to progress and be motivated. I have a song right now that Patrick Mahomes champions called Breakfast that UFC uses. I have stuff like that. You came over and played a song for me that you did that made me want to make a better verse. That made me want to structure my layer my vocals better. Flowman, by the way. If y'all don't know Flowman, he's on my song Sundown on All Love. He's produced for me. He's done stuff. He produced Losses, which is a lot of people's favorite song to play on repeat. What I've noticed about the way people treat artists in this business, they treat artists like artists work for them. If I ever meet, and I'm not talking about the artists in the business, I'm talking about the people who don't make music, don't have a musical talent.
Non-creatives.
They're not creative in any kind of way. But what they will do is take someone that is creative and say, I'll put you in position to make some money, but they're really putting them in position to make them some money. Talent is the evidence of God. It is the evidence of God. Talent is the evidence of ability of what we have, of our highest ability. That's why we all stimulated by talent. We love it. Because that's the existence of God. That proves the existence of God. Over and over again, even if you don't know God, it proves the existence of a higher level of existence. It proves the evidence of a higher existence of humanity. The evolution of humanity. And anyone that could think, I want to pay my bills off of their talent, and not, I want their talent to get out. I want their talent to be unveiled. And if I happen to make some money off it, cool. Did my part in making it push and pushing it out. I'll take my fair share. Anyone that will take money and will do it only for money and doesn't believe in the actual art, in the unveiling of this amazing talent, is a scumbag, is a devil. I don't care what color they come in. Jewish, white, black. I don't give a fuck what color they are. That's the devil. That's the devil because that is the antagonist
In other words,
to God.
you're describing a pattern of behavior, not someone's ethnicity or where they come from.
No. It is a money grab, and it is a unnatural way of thinking. It is literally a contrived, greedy mentality. It's greed. It's messing the game up. They don't want artists to sell their music on Apple Music.
They want to.
On iTunes.
They want to sell access to it 30 days at a time.
Right. They say, buy my streaming app for $10 a month instead of buying an album for $8, $9, $10, and then you own the album and you don't have to come back here and stream it.
Think about how insidious this is. So when you think about it, okay. Now I still have my CD collection from high school and college. I used to burn a lot of mixtapes and everything, and I have this big CD binder, several CD binders full of music, and I've digitized a lot of it. It's on my hard drives, but that's mine forever.
Right.
As long as I could have the medium where all the stuff is stored, I have it. And I know what every song is. I can go back and listen to it. I know what I have. When you get access to Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, or whatever, tens of thousands of songs are getting added daily. It's so much music, you can never actually use it all. And then their algorithms only feed you a small portion of the music anyway.
Right.
And they're leasing you access to it. But if you can't pay them the $10, $11 a month, you lose access to your music.
Right.
And
this is why Spotify is so dangerous. And this is why a lot of artists was trying to get Spotify up out of there. Because that's the program there. They don't even have a way that you can buy the music. See, Apple at least has iTunes. They just hide. I tried to promote and give people were asking me, what's the link to iTunes? What's the link to iTunes to make it easy for them to go buy it? I try my best to find a link to iTunes. There is no link to iTunes anymore. They took the link away. When you send a link to iTunes, you go to iTunes, buy my album, send a link to your friend, it's going to send them to Apple Music. To where they can't buy it. The artist can't eat off it. And you have to stream. You have to pay them so they can pay pennies to the artist. So this is the crazy part. This is the kicker.
You don't even get pennies. You get fractions of a penny per stream.
Of a penny, right. Peep this. Check this scenario. Let's say you are a huge fan of my music and you play my music all day for a week. You played each song probably 25 times on one album. Say you go play All Love or Good Karma, and you play it all day for a week straight. You love this is the only thing you listen to all day in between doing things. You play each song 25 times. It's 10 songs in the album. That's 250 spins. How much money is that for me? It's like $1. It's like $1 in my pocket. And you're a huge fan of the work. That's the I'm talking about the max. When you listen to it all week, it got you through life for a whole week. I made $1 off all them streams, right? So since 1,500 streams equals one album sale. 1,500 streams equals one album sale.
So
hold on. 1,500 streams equals one album sale. Let me just get this off real quick. 1,500 streams equals one album sale. 150 streams equals one song sale. You play my song every day for a week, 25 times every song on the album, 10 songs, and I pretty much got paid for just one song sale.
Let me break down what the timeout. So
you haven't listened to one song 1,500 times in your life, have you?
Probably not. But
you probably ain't heard Thriller 1,500 times in your whole life.
How many hours? So if the average song is 3 minutes long, right?
Right.
And you have to listen. That song has to be listened to 1,500 times to count as a song sale, right?
Right.
Or album sale, right?
Right.
That's 75 hours
of play
of time. So that's more than 3 days.
Just for one song, just for one album sale, it's 1,500 streams per album sale. So when y'all see those artists say they sold 50,000 in the first week, it's because that's how many plays that they had equivalent to how many album sales how many album sales it is. That count up to 1,500 times X amount of album sales.
A little over 3 days, man.
So if you buy my album, I make $8. But if you listen to my album as much as you possibly can till you wear it out, I make $1.
Yeah.
Maybe $1. Maybe 50 cents. So I'm saying it's these kind of algorithms and this kind of algorithm in life is what's being curated right now. Is what's being created by these gatekeepers and these people who want to house all of the artists and all of the great talent in the world for their own profit and to benefit them and their families. And they don't care about how the artist eats. They don't care about the artist's family. They don't care if the artist even lives to see another day. If the artist dies, that makes them even more money. They don't even care. This is the problem with the game today, is that they're forcing artists to have to adhere to their programming, which is so unhealthy for art. The moment you put money with art, we're out of here. The moment you put money with art becomes not so artistic.
Well, I mean, it's to the point where I was watching an Instagram reel today, and it's from one of my producer buddies, MG the Future, and he used the AI thing today, and he was able to make a song with Nicki Minaj, 21 Savage, and Kendrick Lamar. Like, he made an original beat, and he was able to put the voices of them in there. He was able to he used Chat GPT, and he creates a song with Nicki Minaj, 21 Savage, Kendrick Lamar.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, it sounds like Nicki Minaj, but like Nicki Minaj would write some better shit. But it was like, is this like some B-side shit that they would just fuck around in the studio? But it's like, and this is just like the first generation of this technology. Mm-hmm. And a lot of this shit is free. What they want to do, there's going to be some weirdo motherfucker, you know what? Fuck Jay French. I'm gonna go model all of his songs with this AI, and I'm gonna create new Jay French records.
You can't mimic art. That's why that won't work. You could mimic Jay-Z all you want until you hear Jay-Z. You don't know what he's thinking. He might sing a whole album next. You don't know what he's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? This is the thing about when it comes to art, people don't realize you can't get good art twice. You can't. It's like a fingerprint. You can't get it twice. I don't care how good you make a Jay French figure. You cannot get another Jay French. I don't care what we do with flow. We cannot make another version of you. It doesn't work that way. That's the spirit of God. That's the spirit of. I'm gonna stop saying God. I'm gonna think God, but I'm gonna say this. That's the spirit of. That's art. That's the spirit of art. That's the spirit of the universe. Nothing can happen twice. There's nothing happens, but it just doesn't work that way. So when it comes to the way these gatekeepers try to stand in front of gates and police the gate and say, halt, this art can't go through unless it pays me first. I'm not letting this through unless it pays me first.
You tax it.
I'm going to put the tax on there. These are tax collectors. These gatekeepers are not gatekeepers. They're tax collectors. You can't cross this line unless you pay me my tax first as an artist. What that does is if an artist doesn't have enough money to pay these gatekeepers or these tax collectors to get through the gate, then we don't get the art.
Well, yeah, I mean that's been how the game has been the entire time. But when the game first started out, you had to going to a studio was damn near a monumental event.
Right.
This was a multi-million-dollar facility with state-of-the-art equipment. Now, give me $500, I can get a cheap computer, an interface, microphone, headphones. I can go pirate some software. I can find some free software like Reaper or Bandcamp or so. Some of these interfaces come with the software, and I can go find beats on YouTube or wherever, and I can just get busy right now, and I can create art today.
Right, but you still can't get it past the gatekeeper until you pay the taxes.
Yeah, and they go, oh, well, you can go on DistroKid.
And then you can get it past the gatekeeper, and guess what? They want, if that makes anything, they want their money too. And it's like they want their part of that too. That's what these labels do to these guys these days. These big major labels are pimping these artists out. Think about this. Let's say you did a deal and they said, we'll give you $300,000 advance. You got $300,000 advance money. You say, I'm going to do this deal. They give you 10 points off of the product that's being distributed. So, and you have to recoup before you make $1 off that, right? So that means you got to pay them the $300,000 back
from the 10% share
from the 10% share that you own, and you don't get paid until you pay that back, and you only get paid 10% when you do pay it back.
Right.
So peep this out. How many albums do you have to sell to pay $300,000 back if you're only making $1 off the album, which is 10%, which is 10 points. It's 10%, 10 points. How many albums do you have to sell to pay back $300,000 back to the label? At $1 an album. That's all you're making is $1 off the album.
So
you're making 10%
off
the $10 album. That means you got to sell 300,000 records just to be broke.
In an era where
you're famous, but you're broke.
Era where they pushed to not sell music.
Right, in an era where they pushed to not sell their music, to not sell it, only stream it. So, but the labels are in bed with these streaming sites.
They're not only in bed with the streaming sites.
The labels own pieces
they're in bed with all the social media sites.
Right.
They're in bed with all the radio stations.
Right.
It's a cartel.
The non-talented, the no talents, the people that can't even play piano, one riff on it, they can't play a trumpet, they can't sing, they can't dance, they can't do nothing. And they are running the show for the art that comes out. The art that's going to change your life-changing frequencies that you don't even get to get, because this is the constructive business. This is the construct of the business is we must own the house, and when we give you the loan to buy the house, you buy the house. And when you pay the loan back, we still own the house. That's how it works.
And you pay property tax.
And you pay property tax on it too. And you don't have publishing, so you can't do any maintenance on the house because you don't own it. And but you have a place to live. They say you can live here, but we own it. So if we were ever to sell it, how much do you make? 10 points. 10%. I'm gonna say this. This is a normal deal in the business. This is a normal.
Probably
This is
boilerplate.
all the artists that y'all look up to. These artists that got purple dreads and stuff. I'm talking about these guys. This is the deal they got. You think they're rich. You think they're rich. You can think a little such and such bloom blam is rich all you want because they're famous. But I'm telling you right now, that's the deal. That's the shake they got. I don't care who says anything about this. I know for a fact that's the shake they got. They did not get a fair shake. These artists are getting raped by these companies. They're not making nothing, y'all. They're out here busted and disgusted. People are giving them clothes for free. I'm talking about companies like Gucci and all of that. They're giving them clothes for free to wear, and sometimes they're charging them to wear their clothes. Because these guys are walking billboards. These women and these men are walking billboards for these companies.
And you'll go buy it at full price.
You'll go buy it at full
Sometimes
price.
you'll buy it at a premium.
Right.
Because you're trying to you want to look like you're doing something you're not.
Right. It's crazy. You'll go pay $1,700 for a shirt that Nicki Minaj got for free.
And you'll put it on a Firm or Klarna and you'll pay it in full.
Yeah.
Or you'll put it on the credit card with the interest rates at 32%.
Right. You could think
compounding daily.
You could all day think that Rick Ross is buying Maybachs, but Maybach wants him to drive their Maybach. He's a Maybach billboard.
Matter of fact,
Jay-Z is a Maybach billboard. They are putting these guys in these cars.
It wouldn't surprise me if some marketing people from Maybach came to Ross and said, "Hey, look, just make Maybach music. Just make a song like that on every album. We got you."
Maybach Music Part 18.
Yeah, it's an advertisement. I mean, most of you niggas didn't know what a Maybach was until Ross started talking about the shit.
Not true. Jay-Z put it on the map.
I said, but most of these niggas though.
I'm not most of them. Maybach is.
I mean, Maybach, Maybach Music. Maybach Music Group,
Yeah, you're right. Maybach Music Group. They did that. They put it on.
I mean, Jay probably said it first.
They might have. Yeah, they probably.
Same thing with Bugatti. I woke up in a real Bugatti.
You're right. Right.
Like it's advertising.
And understand where this started at. The first deal that the first shoe deal that was ever gotten by an artist was with who? Adidas. It was for my Adidas, and they invented the shell toe with that moment with Run DMC in the 80s. My Adidas, that was the first artist shoe deal ever.
Nelly and the St. Lunatics, Air Force Ones.
They gave way to a Nelly to be able to get a Air Force One deal, and they didn't even have a real deal with Nike when they made it. They just liked the Air Force One like that. They said it in an interview. That's what Nelly said it in an interview. He said that.
Yeah, Nike was like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you Air Force Ones." Because I remember right after that song came out, the cost of Air Force Ones went up by $10. They were like, you couldn't get a pair of white Air Force Ones to save your life.
Right. I remember they were like $49.99. You could buy two pair for $100. Air Force Ones.
Shit, they won
white
20
Air
now.
Force Ones. Exactly. They won 20 a piece now. They went up.
Even though the other day on Nike.com they was letting you get them for $69.99. I got myself 2 more pairs. It's my favorite shoe.
Really?
Yeah, it was like if you
I would have bought a pair if I knew.
Oh, dude, the site was.
Let me
dead.
look now.
No, you probably can't do it now. But the app was crazy, man. Like it was crashing out. People couldn't check out.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, it ain't did that. That was like I want to say Wednesday, a couple of days ago. But yeah, man, like all of this shit is project play. Like we were watching the Drake video for what was it? Sticky, and didn't you tell me like basically they paid Drake to do the video?
They pay artists to shoot these videos. These videos don't make any money, so the videos act as a commercial for companies. So these music videos, even though a lot of artists make great films and great music videos that are good, that are great pieces of art. I'm saying the 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 videos actually don't make money for anybody. They do no good for anybody but the artists. And they don't even do that good for the artists if the artists didn't have something that they were like a sponsorship. Most of the time, if it's not sponsored, then they probably won't push it that well. YouTube won't push it that well. A lot of people won't push it that well, but when it's sponsored by someone else. So these great videos, you see Cardi B in a video, she's getting paid to be in that video. She's getting paid. The people shooting the video are paying her to shoot her, not the other way around. My favorite videos are by artists that shoot their own videos. They like low budget, but they're dope because it feeds the art. My favorite artists are independent artists that own themselves. Those are my favorite artists, like Larry June, Currency, Smoke DZA, Chance the Rapper, Toby Winway. My favorite artists to listen to are artists that are in my predicament, independent, and that won't give it up because they understand the business. They understand what this is. This is not something that I need to give up my integrity for. This is the evolution of the rap game should be us saying we won't sign anything unless it makes sense, unless it actually makes sense and it's fair. I'm not saying don't do business. I do business. I'm saying don't do bad business.
You gotta make them negotiate in good faith.
That's it. Quit getting ripped off because with that, every time they rip one of us off, that adds to their fuel to be able to rip the whole game off. You know, if Drake is fucked over and he's the Billboard Artist of the Decade, what you think you're gonna have to be that? That's what it does. But if Drake stands up and has some integrity and says, you know what? I ain't taking this no more. I'm getting up out of this, and I'm gonna do the right thing. Y'all gonna see me win with integrity. What does that do? It leads you to an integrity mentality. It leads the whole business to have to do business right. It just takes somebody having a backbone and standing up for themselves with integrity. I love Kanye West because Kanye West stands up with integrity for himself, and it will change some things. Y'all just haven't seen it yet. Give it a second. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. You'll see. They're realizing how much they need him right now. They're realizing every day how much they need Kanye West. It's the truth. And it's going to keep happening like that.
But they're running out of star power.
Straight up.
Like, you look at, I mean, there's Drake, there's Hove, there's Kanye. Eminem ain't doing what he used to do. I mean, Eminem will come out and the white people will buy it, but then it fizzles out after a month.
Yeah, that's over with.
Like,
his buzz comes up and dies. And it's because he's so big that the expectation for him, I think, is just way too high. So to where he can't even get a fair shake on what he does make, because he does make good stuff. And he can't get a fair shake on it because everybody expects him to be Slim Shady again. All the time, and he's evolved as an artist. You know?
I mean, what was in the last 5 years, what was the last big moment? Like, somebody dropped and you was like, okay, yeah, this is it. This is going to shift the paradigm. Outside of, the big names I just put out there.
No one. Kanye.
Yeah, but outside of Kanye, outside of the guys that have been moving, who have been moving the needle for the last...
Toby Winway, his movement has been like that. His drops ain't been like that, but his movement has been like that. Chance the Rapper.
So is he fully independent? Because, I mean...
Who is that?
Toby.
Yeah. He owns his stuff.
He don't got nobody
People
backing
are in
him.
bed with everything, but if he's in bed with somebody and he's doing it like he's doing it,
I'd
say he has a great deal. I'm just saying, I'd say his deal is good, and he should keep that. And that's integrity. I say that's feeding his family. So I'm saying, if he's in bed with, because everybody has investors.
Yeah.
Even I have investors. Everybody's investors. But I'm saying, if he's able to control his art like that and do it the way he's doing it, I don't give a fuck who's behind him. If he was with Universal, I'd say he's got the best deal at Universal.
Right.
Straight up. So it's not that artists need to be like, man, I need to just think a little bit more and have a better deal. No, artists need to be being artists. Y'all need to quit targeting them. Stop targeting artists. Let artists eat. Let artists be artists, man. Y'all taking away the fucking foundation of art. And that's the actual artists. Y'all taking them out the game. Y'all not feeding them. It's crazy. I'm sorry, I'm done.
No, I mean, I kind of look at it from I'm an artist myself, and I mean, I've had a deal before. I've done the Chitlin circuit. I've done all the contests and everything. Like, oh man, I'm gonna go meet this A&R. I've done all of that shit, and you see certain people make it. And then it's like, yo, did they pay? Did someone open the door for them? Who is it Illuminati? Did you have to go do some gay shit? Niggas say all sorts of wild shit. And, I just kind of sit here, it's like, let artists be artists, but it's like, that making the art is easier than it's ever been before. Do you think everyone out here releasing music, trying to get heard, trying to put their thoughts on wax? Are they truly artists, or are they just trying to get popular? Like, is that maybe?
I'd say most people are trying to be popular. We know that. That's without a question. That most people are trying to be popular. We see it because everybody's going straight to social media to try to popularize themselves. Going straight to TikTok to try to do what will popularize themselves instead of do what's actually 100 and what's real and be artists and be their authentic self. You can't blow up in a real way and blow up forever without being your authentic self. Yeah, they made fun of Michael Jackson for getting those jobs, but he was being himself. He was the only person doing it. I'm saying you can't you can't live forever. It's not real art unless it's really you.
So do you think? I used to say this all the time, and people will laugh at themselves. Like, a lot of people are making music trying to capture the popularity that they wanted in high school.
That happens too, but that's just trauma.
But what I'm trying, what is the hallmark of a true artist? Like, how do when you go check out someone's, like, hey man, check out my music, or someone say, hey, you need to listen to this new artist. How do you go, yo, that's a real artist, he's being himself? And how do you, like, man, he just trying to get on. He just trying to make something that he thinks is gonna catch. How do you identify that?
When it sounds like somebody else already did it. I'm not talking about 20 years ago. I'm talking about when it sounds like somebody just did it yesterday.
Like, they're just making their version.
They're making their version of somebody else's song that came out yesterday. That's when you know they're just trying to get popular. They made that song. And that artist might actually be a good artist, but you got to listen to track 8 on the album to find the real them, because everything else is smudged with homogenistic tones and variable behavior by them in the track, whatever. So I'm saying it's not every day that we find real artists. Real artists are rare. People being their real self is rare. They say 2% of the world runs 98% of the world. That sounds like how many artists are being true to themselves as well.
So why are so many people afraid of showing them true selves? Do they just not like themselves?
They're taught to not like themselves.
Or they think people won't accept it?
They're programmed. They're programmed to not like themselves. People are controlled by low self-esteem. They're controlled in this society to not have self-esteem.
How?
Because they're controlled by saying, okay, let's start with prom at school, high school.
Okay.
Prom queen, prom king.
Yeah, there's so many movies where the main plot is the guy who wants to go to prom with this pretty girl, right, and it's this whole rite of passage, or it's the ugly duckling girl. She wants to go with the football captain, and she gets a makeover, and finally that guy notices her. It's like, will you go to prom with me?
They're telling you what to like. They're telling you this is what you should like. You should like this girl. You should like that girl. You should like this guy. You should like that guy. You should dress like this person. You should dress like that person. This is what's in style. This is what's not in style. That's dated. That's old. That's new. That's these words, all these different words are words that control people's self-esteem, about people's esteem of themselves, because they start to rate themselves based on and against those terms. Old, new, in, out. That's what is programmed into you to think I should not show my real self because I don't know if it's old, new, in, out. So I should just do what they said. It's safer for my mental health to just do what they said is good. You know, do what they said is good.
Okay.
Do what they say is good because I don't want to embarrass myself. If I want to walk out this door, I will buy this nice thing that I think is great. But when I walk outside and get made fun of with it on, I even think it's bad now. I thought it was great just 10 minutes ago. I walked outside with it on. Everyone made fun of me, and then I walked back in the house and said, I'll never wear this shit again.
Well,
think about how many times people think like that, and then they think to avoid that situation. And then it drives them to buy the safe item. Now you're wearing not even what you wanted to wear because they've controlled you with your low self-esteem. That's what I mean by that.
okay. So, I mean, how does someone overcome that? I mean, obviously, so don't give a fuck what anyone else says. But how do you get there? You're 16. You already. You're fairly average, maybe slightly below average. Yeah, you didn't grow as tall as everyone else.
Yeah.
You're not as athletically coordinated. You know, you're kind of invisible, right? You know, and you're not remarkable in any sense.
Right.
And it's like, at a certain point, look, people say, "Oh man, I'm not seeking validation for this person, that person." I think everyone seeks validation. It's just that when you're constantly validated, of course you're not seeking validation because you get it. But if you're deprived of validation from your peers and affirmation, like, "Yo, man, hey, that's all right, dude. Hey, what's up, man?" Like, people are friendly to you, they're nice to you, they acknowledge you. You're good. But if you don't get that at all, of course you're going to chase validation.
Right, naturally. Right.
And so I think a lot of that low self-esteem comes from, like, you're not getting validated. Your existence isn't validated by someone else. So, of course, you have low self-esteem. And that's low serotonin. That's just evolutionary.
People have to you have to find that validation to feel that. But guess what? If someone was teaching you, let's say you were like, and this is why I still admire the way hippies used to take their kids out of society completely. They living in the woods somewhere, or they were homeschooled. I admire homeschooling because it takes the kids out of socialization and lets them be themselves. Lets them at least be taught by the people that actually love them and be validated by their own people. Straight up, instead of being validated by people who they don't know, or being validated by a homogenistic opinion, or conformity, if you will, or consensus. So it's all in all, you can't live like art. Artists is gonna. So all in all, art will live forever. Art will outlive us, and we can't make art unless we're being an artist. And we can't be an artist unless we're being true to ourselves. And you can't be true to yourself if you have low self-esteem. And the social programming that makes you say, I'm going to buy this shirt because it's safe to wear outside without getting made fun of, is where it all starts. You should buy the shirt that you like and learn how to get made fun of. Learn how to take being made fun of. And you will learn how to validate yourself instead of needing somebody else's validation. Bullying is important. Bullying is important because we got to learn how to get through that to be ourselves.
So basically, it's learning how to, you know, as we're black, we came up with the dozens, and my older brothers, they used to give me hell. I mean, they would, and I would try to come back, but I couldn't.
Right.
And I would get mad. I'd be trying to fight. They'd be like, "Look, bro, you gotta learn how to say something back, or we're just gonna keep killing you. You gotta figure out some shit to snap back with. All right, you the little chubby fat kid.
They were strengthening you, man.
And it's like, yeah. So it's kind of like, if you done Muay Thai, you're gonna punch trees
Right.
over and over till you callous your hands to the point where you can punch anything and it doesn't hurt.
Right.
You do the same with your elbows, and it's gonna hurt at 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna hurt really bad. You're gonna wake up and you can't even open your hand.
Right.
But over time, your body's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna put extra bone here. I'm gonna build up this bone extra tough and strong here because you keep doing this.
Right.
And I mean the same thing with bullying. It's like, oh man, they're making fun of my shirts. They're making fun of how I dress. Own that shit.
Great point.
You gotta own that shit. Like, it's like, yeah, I do wear this ugly yellow shirt, but it's fly as fuck. Oh, you don't like my shirt? Well, this is the shirt I got. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
it's the one I got. I like that.
So this is, it's kind of like, Biggie. I'm black and ugly as ever. Mm-hmm. But his confidence was unshakable. He was like,
right.
Yo, I'm going to walk, look, I know I'm a big, fat, ugly nigga. I'm not as cute as this light-skinned, Albie shirt nigga over here that you think is fine, but what's your name? What's your sign? You're not going to, what's up?
Right, what's up? That's real shit. I love that.
Like, what's up? Like, no.
Confidence is unshakable.
It's like, so what?
That's the name of this episode.
I can't stay away. 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 Choosy for the moment, but I always need components or opponents that they hit you just to get you to your moment. You gon' sacrifice it all to be an artist. Better know it's politics and drama. This is just the part they never told it. Like it is or like it was. How you ain't shit without a buzz. This far from making it big. This far from giving it up. But every time I change a life, I know this is bigger than us. Long as one person spin it, I promise you I'm winning. I can't quit. Can't quit.